This will be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're like this, and you and I are going to be talking just like this.
Okay.
Okay. And this is going to be, this might be the best show ever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because it's cool, right?
Yeah.
I've had Zena and Vaughn on the air. However, Zena's a realtor, and everybody loves her anyways. So you people actually get to now hear of you. So.
Well, a lot of people do know me.
Yeah. All right, Matt, ready?
Yeah.
Ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Flathead Home Show. All homes, big and small, we discuss them all. My name's Justin Meccia. Happy weekend to you, friends. Happy Father's Day weekend to you. It's actually a really cool weekend for this guy, because I'm a dad of 4 with another one on the way. And my lovely wife said, well, I'm not done. And so we've got one coming soon, and that's a realtor joke for you, friends. For those of you who aren't aware of that, in the real estate industry, we're not allowed to advertise our listings with the phrase coming soon, at least in this state. And so whenever a realtor is pregnant, we like to finally get to use the phrase that we're not allowed to say. We get to say, oh, coming soon, right? So there we go, coming soon. A 5th to our family. Matt, you're a dad, so happy Father's Day to you. Yeah, Matt, the producer here, is a dad of 2. However, I have a very special show for you, friends. I thought it'd be a lot of fun to bring in, my favorite dad, my only dad, my dad. So my dad is in the studio as we celebrate the Flathead Home Show, saying, cheers to you, dads. We trust you're having a good weekend and you're being spoiled by your friends and family and your community. And here we go. We get to hear from my dad. Gary Meccia is in the studio. Say hello to everybody, Dad.
Hello, everybody.
So this is the first time you're on the air.
Yes, yes, it is.
Other than a frequent caller to B98 to attempt to win some swag or concert tickets or whatever it may be, right?
Yeah, I tried to win those tickets to the Pink Floyd.
Yeah, the cover band, yeah.
But it didn't work.
Yeah.
They don't answer my phone.
So, we'll have to talk to those guys down the hall. We'll see what we can find for you. So, friends, I've got we're gonna unpack some cool stories here as we spend some time celebrating our dads and hearing from mine. And he's got some cool stories we're gonna discuss. However, before I do that, I want to thank my great sponsors, All About You Wellness and Aesthetics and Montana Basement Solutions, solving your water and mold problems for good. So, Dad, this actually is a real estate show. We discuss real estate every once in a while on this show, other than cracking a couple of dad jokes. And I know that you, a man of who's bought and sold a lot of times. Like, you've bought property in several states. You've been a homeowner since. When did you buy your first home?
Oh, geez, you put me on the spot now. 70.
In the 70s.
70s, yeah.
Was it the home that I was born in?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
First home.
And now that's a project, or that's a story, because that was a whole remodel, right?
Oh, yeah. That was a condemned house.
That suits me, right, Matt? Goodness. Yeah. So, Mom and you and Mom brought me home from the hospital, and we crossed the threshold of a house that didn't even have a floor.
Well, it had a floor, but it wasn't too level. I had to take floor jacks and jack it up.
Yeah. My mom's told me a lot of stories about that house. However, let's fast forward a little bit to one of my favorite purchases of yours. Tell us about that little yellow house on Hill Street. Uh-huh. Yeah, the house that you bought with a credit card.
Yeah, that was interesting.
In a word, right?
Yeah. It didn't have a foundation, but it was still standing.
It's the relentless little house.
Yeah. There again, floor jacks. I was paid to be an automotive mechanic at the same time because I had floor jacks to jack the house back up.
Okay, so let's paint the picture here, friends. Your floor jacks, like to lift a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what you're using to lift a house.
Part of the house anyway at a time, yeah.
So I have to share something with your friends, listeners, and Matt. This is the guy that MacGyver wants to be when he grows up. This is the guy. Like, look at him. Like, this is the guy that MacGyver wants to be when he grows up. Most of us have like Chuck Norris or whomever, Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? That's your favorite, right, Matt? Yeah. Except for MacGyver looks up to Gary Meccia, like, because you think of things.
I'm blessed.
You figure it out, right? So there is no problem that you don't want to take a crack at and solve. So floor jacks to lift up part of the house to then what? Build a foundation, correct?
Yeah, we put a foundation under it and rebuilt the whole house. Turned out to be it started out as the worst house on the block, and it became the nicest house on the block.
Well, my investor friends would say that's a smart move, right? Because buy the ugly one and then make it the pretty one. The ugly duckling that became the swan.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, hey, this is the Flathead Home Show. We're talking with my dad on Father's Day weekend here, Gary Meccia, in the house, in the studio. Dad, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, though, let's unpack a couple more of those stories. And then I'd actually like to ask you, for those that are looking at becoming a homeowner or those that own homes, what are some pieces of advice that you would want to give them, such as floor jacks, right? This is the Flathead Home Show. My name is Justin Meccia. In the studio with me, Gary Meccia. We'll be right back. All right. So that's half the show. It flies. Do you, think of a couple of pieces of advice that you'd want to give a homeowner, and they could be anything. It could be make sure you flush the water heater. Let's go there. Let's talk about your history. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Matt, you ready? Yep. Give me the one if you don't mind, okay? And we're back. It's the Flathead Home Show. My name's Justin Meccia. Happy Father's Day weekend to you, friends. If you're a dad, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day weekend. If you aren't a dad, call your dad, tell him you love him, and say Happy Father's Day. Dad, welcome back to the show. In the studio with me, my dad, Gary Meccia. First time on the air, other than a frequent caller to give the people over at B98 a hard time. Yeah, he still wants those tickets, everybody.
They give me a hard time.
So Dad, you bought this house. It had no foundation. You used automotive floor jacks to jack up the house. You built the foundation. Then you held on to it as a rental for a while, right?
Yeah.
So this is the story, correct me if I'm wrong, of sweat equity, of somebody buying something, putting a lot of love into it, and then it paying you back for several years as a rental property, and then eventually you sold it and recapitalized, or recouped all the expense, and you took your gain, and you played the game somewhere else.
Yeah, for about every $1 I put into it, I got about 4 or 5 back out of it.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it was probably the smartest investment I ever made.
Whoa, look at that. Yeah. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. Your profession, I did say that MacGyver looks up to you, so it's really hard to kind of wrap up what you do with a word, although you do hold a plumber's license.
Yes.
Yeah, you've been a plumber all of your professional life, and to many degrees.
I grew up in a plumbing family, so I had no choice but to be a plumber.
Okay. Somehow I escaped, Matt. I got out. I said, no way, that's too hard. So
yeah, I remember you saying, Dad, I don't want to work like you do. Jeez.
Yeah, although I did like the real estate part. I was like, wait a minute, I like the idea of somebody paying me. That's cool. Let's do that. Which requires some knowledge of plumbing. So let's give the good people 1 or 2 tips. Plumbing related, what is something that they should do or shouldn't do in their home?
Oh, geez. Just look for any water stains throughout the house, in the crawl space. Try to look up underneath where the toilets go through the floor and see if there's any stains around the wood.
Right. Because if that toilet has a small leak, it's going to compromise the subfloor.
Yep.
And that obviously is damage to the home, which costs money to fix. That also could be a safety hazard, though. Like if the thing sinks through the floor or something, right?
Yeah. Another thing I see a lot of, especially with gas water heaters, people crowd too much stuff around them.
Oh.
They shouldn't do that.
It needs to breathe, right?
Yeah, it needs to breathe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not a bad idea. You're buying a home. You're likely going to use a home inspector at some point to get an opinion of the nature of the home and obviously get a couple of red flags or caution tape. If you discover that this has a gas-powered water heater, make sure that you don't crowd it. Right?
Yes.
We have a tendency to stuff things in our crawl spaces or any cubbies that we can, Christmas trees, things that we don't use but maybe once or twice a year. Well, please don't stuff them around the gas water heater.
Yeah, it needs to breathe.
Yeah, okay. And then, of course, if you get a minute, if you can, and obviously with the home inspector is going to do this for you too. However, if you are aware of water leaks or stains, get that stuff solved.
Addressed, yeah.
Some
of it could be old, but a screwdriver usually tells you to.
Oh, take a screwdriver and stab the wood, and if it goes through, you got a problem. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So what about the wintertime, and we go to winterize a home. Let's say it's a home that we're not living in. You could winterize the home, or one of the hacks that people like to use or share with people is like turn the water on just a little, give yourself a slow drip. What's going on there?
Well, that's not always the best idea. I say keep the heat on. You don't have to keep it at 70, but everything shrinks with cold and expands with heat. So I think it's always smart to at least keep the heat on at 50, 55.
Right.
It's cheaper in the long run.
And then keep your cabinet door, like your vanities, doors open.
Open, exactly.
Yeah, so that the warmer air can get in there. Yeah, okay.
I notice with a lot of repairs that I do that the plumbing's insulated improper. They insulate it to the outside instead of insulating it to let the heat from the house get to the plumbing.
Oh, okay.
And most all the times I see that it was insulated wrong, and that's why they had trouble.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see, I suppose that keeps people like you busy, though.
Yeah, you see, the people that install insulation, they're not plumbers, so they don't worry about that thing.
Yeah, it's just not my job, although I like charging you for the insulation.
Yeah.
I suppose we're going to have a hard time getting one of those guys sponsoring the show, right, Matt? Yeah. Of course, all the plumbers right now are saying, yeah, keep going, Gary. Yeah.
Well, they just want to keep us busy.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Well, Dad, we've got about a minute left. Any last pieces of advice? We were talking about real estate. We talked about one of your... one of my favorite purchases that I've seen you make, that old house on Hill Street that I knew that you've jacked up and you've made a really pretty home, and it is a cool little home today. Any other last piece of advice for the people out there? Invest in real estate, I suppose. Yeah.
Definitely. It's one of the things when you make a profit, you don't pay as much tax as you do on you go out to work and do a job.
Yeah, sure.
Your taxes are cheaper, and you're getting it over. You don't try to do it overnight. You got to invest for the long term.
A phrase that was shared with me was, "Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait." Right?
Yes.
It'll pay you back in time. Yeah, well said. All right, a couple of fast, quick questions for you here. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Let's see. Best album of all time?
Pink Floyd.
Of course. I knew he'd say that. Yeah. Best state of all time?
Hey, we were in it. There's no place better in the world
than Montana. Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, Flathead, you've heard it from my dad. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. And for those of you who need to, call your dad and say, I love you. This is the Flathead Home Show. My name's Justin Meccia. Be safe, be well. And of course, as always, hey, Flathead, you get to sign us off by saying, welcome home.
Welcome back.